Good morning, Cindy here, and today we are going to talk about winter seed sowing. I did this last year and it was so successful, so easy, and so economical that I probably won't ever go back to the old way of sowing seeds. I'm also going to show you where to get free seeds that are grown around the area so we know that they will probably do well. So let's get started. So today I am at the Leander Public Library shopping for seeds. That's right, shopping for free seeds. So people all around the area have been growing some beautiful perennials and vegetables and ornamental trees, and they collect seeds and they package them up and they bring them to the libraries, and they're free. So you can come in and you can take 5 packages at a time every time you come and visit. So I thought we would go inside and see what they have to offer. You are going to be really surprised at how many different wonderful native Texas varieties they have here. So come on in and let's go see. So right next to the checkout counter is an old card catalog that they have converted to a seed library. And the neighborhood groups that love to garden have painstakingly collected their seeds in the fall and packaged them in these little envelopes. There's some you can take home if you want to do some of that yourself. And I just laid some out here to give you an example of what kind of things you could pick up. So Gaillardia, loofah, that's a lot of fun. That's a vine that really gives you some shade on an arbor. A Mexican hat, that's some of our wildflowers here. We have a white datura. We have Esperanza, yellow bells, black-eyed Susan, poppies, bee balm. We have Dutchman's pipe, which is a really fun one. Sunflowers, um, blanket flower, flame sumac, which is an ornamental tree, and we have gomphrena. What does that say? That says red globe amaranth, which is also a gomphrena. So there are so many wonderful things here. There's a basket full they haven't had a chance to organize into the catalogs, but they have veggies, they have ornamentals, they have small trees, and the directions here say you can take 5 packages every visit. And so I've been known to come by here twice a day. Anyway, it is a lot of fun and they are totally free. So I've come back from the library with my haul of seeds, free seeds, and now we are going to plant them and get them growing. And remember that it's still winter because some of these seeds do require a period of cold for them to germinate. Now in the past, this is what I had planted my seeds in. But these require grow lights, they require space in my garage, and they required heat mats to be able to grow this in the wintertime. So this method is much better. What you do is you make little terrariums or little garden plots for your seeds, and I'm going to show you exactly how you do that. And then you set this jug outside and you let nature do all the work. The seeds are protected somewhat, but they're going to go through a cold spell, and then they get the morning light. You put them in a sunny location, and you make sure that they don't completely dry out. And if you get some rain, that rain will just go right in through this opening here. And if you don't get some rain and you feel like they're drying out, you can spritz them with a little mister. But otherwise, you don't do anything. You just pot them up and leave them outside. And then in about 3 to 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks, depending on the germination time that nature has for each individual seed, they will start growing. And once you have that second set of leaves, you'll open it up and get ready to transplant it out. It should be sometime middle of March or April, and you are going to have a lot of free seedlings and things that are native that are going to do wonderfully in our area. So you may be asking, well, what kind of seeds will grow in this cool season method? Well, almost all of the perennials that are native to our area will work in these little containers. Also, your cool season vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, kale, cabbages, all of those things you can start by seed in these and get them growing now and plant them out in your garden in several weeks. And another thing that does really well is cool season flowers like foxglove, snapdragon, sweet peas. So those are things you can get started now and plant out later. So what supplies do you need to get going on this project? Well, first of all, you need seeds. And again, go to your local library and get free seeds. What's better than free? And you'll need something for them to grow in. And I have asked my neighbors and I've been collecting, so I have lots of these great gallon jugs. Now, if the jug had milk in it or orange juice in it, make sure you wash it out well before you use it. But most of mine were for just had water in them. And you're going to need an X-Acto knife. You'll need some good tape. I like to use duct tape. You can use packing tape. And you're going to need something to drill holes. You can just poke holes with a screwdriver, or you can use a drill. And you're going to need potting soil. Now, the potting soil that you'll need is just a good, get a higher quality potting soil. You don't really need seed starting soil. I have found that seed starting soil dried out too quickly. So just good potting soil and not fertilized though. Try to find a potting soil that does not have fertilizer in it. And I think that's about all you're going to need. And you'll also need a marker. And if you have some of those little plastic labels that you can stick inside and label, those would be great. I didn't have any, but I just wrote what they were on the outside of the container. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is cut this in half, but you are going to leave it attached about 1 inch right at the base of the handle so that it can have a hinge and open and close for you. So let's get started cutting this in half. And I found that I had a little bit more control if I finished cutting it with scissors. Okay, so now you're just going to hinge it back, and I still have it connected by a little more than 1 inch there. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to drill holes in the bottom here. So I like to put 4 holes in. And to protect my table, I've got a couple of pieces of wood here, and I'm just going to make some holes. Okay, so I've got my 4 holes in there, and I'll fill it with my dirt. Now, this soil, I pre-moistened it. So, and it's got quite a bit of vermiculite in there too. So I got it nice and wet before I started this project. And you don't want it to be too wet, but if you squeeze it, you don't want to have any water dripping out. But like a wrung out wet sponge, they say. Okay, so let's fill this up. I have a little scooper here. And if you find you have any little sticks or things like that, you can take those out. Like I did see a little stick here, and so that's not ideal. And if you happen to have a soil strainer, that would really be great. I don't have a soil strainer, so I just used my fingers. Okay, and you're really going to kind of mash it down, not too much, but just enough to get all the air pockets out. And there we have a perfect little garden for our seeds. And then the next thing I did was I looked up what the depth is for these seeds. You can put as many seeds as you want in the container, but you really want to make sure about the depth, because some seeds need light to germinate and some seeds do want to be down 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch. So I found myself just quickly Googling, because they do not, you get the seeds free, but you don't get any information on them. So that's one of the downfalls. But just Google it and say, just say this is Gaillardia, and you say how to plant Gaillardia seeds, and it'll pop right up 1/4 inch or lightly spread around on the top. So whatever your directions say, then let's pretend like this one needs to go in 1/4 of an inch. So you just pop your little pointer or whatever you have 1/4 of an inch. You put your seeds in, you cover them up lightly, and then you'll bring this back over. And then what I did is I took my piece of tape, I spread it out on the table, and I wrote down what I could find, what information I could find on Google, like how many days to germination. But that may or may not actually happen. You may have to wait longer than it says on Google, because nature has its own idea of how it's going to have these seeds pop up. So I have decided for my last pot, my last little garden, so I have 9 of these gallon jugs potted up, and I have one left. And so this is going to be Tithonia Mexican sunflowers. And I looked it up, and it says it wants 1/4 to 1/2 inch deep. So I'm going to do that. And while I have my tape here, I am going to write down with my marker what kind of plant this is. And days to germination, it said 4 to 5 weeks. Okay, so then we will put in our seeds. And they're really fine little things. They are a lot smaller than your average sunflower seeds. Okay, so we'll put them in. In all the little holes. And then I'm just going to put all the rest of them in, kind of tamp them down. You cannot, they say you can't really overplant here. The more the merrier. And you'll kind of untangle them later. Okay, so I cover this up. I'm going to cut off my tape here. And I'm going to tape this all together. Kind of started on the side where the hinge was. Pull it across. There we go. And here in the back, I felt like I needed to trim my tape so I could get a really good closure. Okay, now after you've got that all secure, you're going to spray the top one more time with a little bit of mist from a spray bottle of water, and you just set them outside. And then you just wait, and you just peek in, making sure that, kind of checking to see. Nothing's going to happen for a couple of weeks, so don't get too upset. But over time, there will be a beautiful little garden that just shows up in there, and it's going to be very exciting. So I will keep you apprised on how they do. Let's see what else I've got growing. Okay, so remember I picked these all up free from the library. We have white coneflower, And I have red blanket flower or gaillardia. This one is called Starburst. Gomphrena, and this one is from my yard. I had the most beautiful pink gomphrena. Actually, this is the one that's from my yard, Fireworks. So I definitely wanted more of those. And then this one is a globe one, and this is a Fireworks variety. I have Bee Balm or Monarda. This one is purple. I have Zexminia, and or it's also called Wedelia, and it says I wrote don't overwater because you can certainly do that. I have Clematis. This is growing in my backyard on a back fence, and I thought I'm going to see if I can transfer some of these to a different location. And this is Rebecca Red and Black-Eyed Susan. And so I am so excited. If we can peek inside. Absolutely nothing is happening yet because I just put them in yesterday, but I will keep you informed. So I've got 10 little jug gardens out here in a sunny location, and I will just be watching every week. I'll make sure that they don't dry out, but it's very possible that I don't have to do a thing to them. There's plenty of moisture in here right now, and we don't have much heat coming anytime soon. So I think they'll be just fine. And I'm going to be so thrilled to have so many new perennials for my garden this spring. So I'm going to gently pull them apart, trying not to hurt the root system too much. And there we go. And then I'll put one just right here in this bed right now. Pop it in. And like I said, once the sun comes out, it's going to be too hot for these. So I'm going to put a piece of shade cloth over the top of this. We'll put this one in. So thank you so much for watching my video today. If you like this content, please like and subscribe for more. Thank you so much. I hope you get a chance to go to your local library today and pick up some free seeds. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.